You know, to end the Fed, end this just, it's not even wealth transfer anymore. It's gone beyond that. It's not, it's going into your pocketbooks today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, the next decade, for however long this country exists and however long the private industry known as the Fed Reserve operates inside this country. Bob, I've always wanted to ask you this. Having the knowledge and the informed, the consent of the informed, that's the way we're supposed to be governed here, and we elect people to do what is, well, in our best interest, and no pun intended there. But is it occurring to more and more people? You're starting to see signs here that people are going, well, yeah, audit the Fed. Why audit the Fed? Let's just dump them. Let's just pull their charter. Are you starting to see signs of this?
Oh, yes, I am. And unfortunately, well, I don't know whether it's unfortunate. What has taken the lead here in this last space of time has been the reaction to the health care fiasco. But that's okay, because it has become a catalyst which will open up other issues. I got a letter to the editor and went to one of these congressional town meetings, and it was for Grayson, and who really grilled Bernanke, on both sides. And all the questions... What?
He's the guy that asked Bernanke where the money went, and Bernanke replied, "I don't know."
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good input. You're absolutely right. And so everybody at the meeting had questions regarding the health care issue. And then this fellow, our subscriber, stands up and says, well, I agree with you all, but there's another issue that's even more important than that, and he laid it out. And Grayson got up and he said, I was the first one to sign on to 1207. I want you to know that. And then he went off, why are we going to get rid of the Fed? So to answer your question, one thing is leading to another. And as long as programs like this, and this is why I do over 30 hours a week on the air, hammer at these crooks, there's going to be enough people listening and enough people who are disturbed, and you saw lots of disturbed people over the last month or so. We keep on giving them the truth and the information. They're going to get educated, and it's all over. We can stop them, I hope. Because if we don't, you know what the alternative is. And so we're making great strides, great strides. We're exposing everything. The scam of a make-believe swine flu epidemic.
Yeah, isn't it interesting, Bob, that we have the swine flu stuff, we have the World Health Organization ramping up to level 6, we're at Mach through their hair on fire, all going to our graves. Yesterday, they announced that 90,000 people are going to die of the swine flu, but you read further into the story, they'll say, oh, well, maybe it'll be 30,000. Well, I got news for everybody. Every year, flu kills 30,000 people in this country. It is a country of 300 million, so 30,000, what is that, 1/10 of 1%?
Exactement.
This is what happens every flu season. People whose health is challenged to begin with, you get the flu, you get pneumonia, you die, whatever. This happens anyhow. And I'm wondering if this isn't the granddaddy of diversionary tactics here to allow the bankers, which are financing everybody in the ne'er-do-well plans for world government, this is just another wag the dog scenario. We'll be right back. All right. That was the idea. We'll be again. Gentlemen, if you allow me in the next long segment, I've got a clip from Mr. Robert Welch in 1958 laying out the grand plan of and the long-term goals of the globalist. It's all about globalization. On the program yesterday, guys, dug up a clip. Somebody had emailed it to me. This is when Billy Boy was in the White House, and, well, then we all know that the wench that was in there with him, and who knows who she slept with in the Lincoln bedroom, but at any rate, she was the then First Lady. And this was on the subject of the World Federalist. Well, the clip was sent to me. There was Walter Cronkite accepting an award 12 years ago by the World Federalist. And in that clip, he was talking about, yes, there has to be world government, and yes, you're going to have to give up some sovereignty, but it's the best way to go. The interesting thing he said, aside from all of that, was the way this will be done, it'll be done through commerce and treaty and foreign policy. Well, look who the Secretary of State is. You know, that wasn't necessarily a demotion to get her out of the way. There is the it takes the village cast iron biddy right back in where she should be, doing the deal for the globalist. I mean, it's amazing. And people over the years, guys, you know, they loved Walter Cronkite. He did the evening news on CBS for years and years and years, and that's the way it is. Well, and everybody trusted him. I mean, he was there for the Kennedy assassination, for Martin Luther King. He was there for Vietnam. He was there for the moonshot, and everybody just loved him, but they didn't know who this guy really was. He was one of theirs. You were going to say something, Bob. I think I interrupted you.
No. I just wanted to stick something in, and now it slipped my mind. But Walter Cronkite never would have attained any of his professional successes had he not been one of the Brotherhood of the Bell, if you may. And that's how this thing works. And anybody who doesn't think it doesn't work is crazy. These people are all interconnected. You get that position, you get that position, and so on and so forth. That's why when you have a seamless change from one president to another, you get Team A coming in for Team B. They're all CFR, trialats, Bilderbergers, Satanists, Illuminists, pedophiles, all sorts of terrible, disgusting creatures. And that's why we've got what we got. And Robert Welch recognized that. And, you know, he was attacked for years of being some kind of a nutcase, and he was dead right about everything. And there's a lot of good people that came out of that movement, believe me.
Well, next week, I don't have it scheduled yet because he's going to send me a footnoted book. I'm going to have Jeff Gates on. Jeff Gates wrote the book, Guilt by Association. And what he does is exhaustively just details how this whole thing has been set up. And he also talks about the media, them being the rubber stampers, and the insiders pumping out the government propaganda. So I'm looking forward to that because this guy's got information. The question I kept asking him, I said, you don't have an intelligence background? He said, I do now. I mean, and this guy was high level in government and banks. He ran a bank himself, and it's going to be a fine time. So tune in next week. I don't know the exact day. It'll be any day but Tuesday, obviously. All right, gentlemen, what is the unemployment picture? I saw this yesterday. You were probably watching the markets very closely, Robbie. They came out with ugly unemployment numbers again. Consumer confidence had, well, brightened a tad. But I'd watched the stock market, and Bob Chapman, you said this. You're going to see, and this is when the market was bouncing around 7,000, the Dow Jones. You said it's probably going to go up to about 95, 9,600 and hold there. And voila, where are we at today?
Just about there. In fact, a shade higher at 95-something. And actually, I didn't say 9,500. I said 85.
You said 85.
Yes, and I have a little egg on my cheek, but nothing sails through life without a little pain. I can't be perfect all the time, but I'll tell you one thing, when this thing comes down, it's going to be like thunder and lightning. And so if you're in the market, you got a second chance to sell, get out. And those cash value insurance policies and those annuities should be sold out, and that money should be going into gold and silver coins as fast as possible.
Let me ask you a question on a related note, though. Dubai Securities announced a deal with Morgan Stanley